Good afternoon, Teen Talk family. I'm your host, Miss KK, here with
Deshaun B.
Your boy DJ Dede in the building.
And the legendary Ajane Jacob.
Today we have a very special guest in the building. Joining us now is Mr. Reggie Martin. He is currently the Associate Director of VIP and Celebrity Relations at the world's biggest casino, the Venetian, located in Macau, China. Mr. Reggie is also the Warden for the U.S. Consulate of Hong Kong. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm blessed. I can't complain. Thank you for having me on.
Of course. We're glad you decided to join us, even though you're on the road. We really appreciate the dedication to our show and that you showed up. So besides the lovely bio we just gave you, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and your career?
I'm from East Chicago. And, I grew up like any inner city kid. I had a lot of dreams, and I understood you can have more than one dream. So I let that go. I had a great foundation. I was blessed and fortunate to grow up with two parents that still married to this day. So that gave me a great head start. But I understood at a young age how blessed and fortunate I was for that. Having so many friends that grew up in a single parent home. But where I'm at today, I have to thank a lot of the people on the way. I got to thank the circle of friends that I hung around with in high school. Because if you think about it, you're around them more than you are your family.
Yeah, that's true.
So we kept each other out of trouble and kept each other on that right path to reach your dreams. So, I graduated from high school. I played basketball. Ended up getting a scholarship to a Division II school, which is Winona State, which the jacket I have on right now, trying to promote my school. And from that's all she wrote. I worked hard. Well, I worked smart. And, not necessarily hard, but I worked smart. Because I don't like sweating too much.
Work hard and smart.
I feel that.
But from that's all she wrote. I never worked in the United States. All my jobs has been basically overseas. My first job right out of university was in Turkey.
Wow.
From Turkey, I lived in Bali and Dominican Republic and all these wonderful places that I never thought I would see. I was just happy to see the Hollywood sign at one time. Even before that, I was just happy to see downtown Chicago. So from there, ended up being general manager of Playboy for a while also. And now, I've been living overseas all these years and just having a great time.
That's awesome. Ajane, you have a question?
Yeah. How did high school help prepare you to where you are today?
Oh man, high school had a lot to do what I'm doing today. I can tell you right now, I learned a lot about politics from going, just being in the hood in East Chicago, which is called street politics. So that's used actually in the corporate world with the corporate politics. So, just growing up here, you needed to know the basic things. What side of town you on, who's running that side of town with the gangs and all of that, what color you can wear, what color you cannot wear, what side you can turn your hat, what side you cannot turn your hat, all these things. So all these things you started learning, these things, and these things carry on in life.
Right.
Just basic rules, basic, restrictions and everything. So I put all that to use, so being the politics here, I was that one guy that I can go to every part of of Chicago because I was politically correct everywhere I went.
Yeah.
And then, playing basketball, you learn a lot about team structure, how to work with people, and you learn a lot about different people personalities. You know, so when you have 15 guys on the team, all 15 guys, you know, not necessarily, you know, on the same, you know, think the same. But on the court, we brothers. But off the court, you know, everybody can go. We don't have to hang out, you know, everybody go their own way. But on the court, we was brothers. So that all taught me a lot about, you know, loyalty, teamwork, and how to, you know, depend on each other, and that gets you ready for life.
And also self-discipline as well, right?
Self-discipline, that's right. But thank you. Yeah, that's right. Self-discipline. That's right. Even though it's some people on the team who refuse to have the self-discipline. But you're right, DJ. That's a big part of it.
To piggyback on what you said as far as just being able to adapt to different personalities, how do you adapt to different personalities in the corporate world?
You know what? I try to learn. I try to sit back. First impression is everything to me. You know, even though first impressions with some people can be tricky. You know, it's a lot of good actors and actresses out of there. You find out later how somebody's personality really is. At times,
honestly,
man,
you know. So once you learn that, you know how to deal with people. You know, I learned how to, you know, coming from East Chicago, but I'm gonna say a lot of inner city and being Black, we got, you know, a lot of us, we have this quick snap blood in our system. We'll snap in a minute if you get out of pocket. And I learned that didn't get me nowhere because they already looking at us that way. So I learned how to be politically correct right there. Okay, you know, jumping around, screaming, and who you talking to? You know, do you know who? You know, all that didn't get me nowhere. I know how to kill you by silence. I know how to kill you by a smile. I know how to kill you by more success. Instead of raising my voice or wanting to put my hands on you or whatever like that. This is how you know, you beat people. But yeah, you know, quickly you try to learn different people's personality as me. I try to learn them quickly. And then you know, and then that's how I handle it every situation. You know, working in the hospitality, you got to be quick on your feet. Now, when you say you working at a hotel, you might get a disgruntled guest that's yelling right off the you know, the bank.
Yeah.
So you got to be ready for that. You got to adapt to that personality. How you gonna handle that? You don't scream back like DJ said. It teaches you self-discipline. You got to understand she's not mad at you. She mad at the situation that's going on and taking it out on you. But you know, you got to stay calm and handle that in the most professional way as possible. And guess what? You might gain a loyal customer from her, how you handle that situation, because you will handle it very professional.
You say it's not what you do, it's how you do it, correct?
It's how you do it. It's how you do it.
So I have a question. I was looking on your Instagram and I noticed that you call yourself the Black Chinaman. So where did this name come from?
You know what? That's the name that everyone called me since I've been in China. You know what? This is facts. One more year in China, I will actually be in China longer than East Chicago.
Wow.
That's
So,
your
you know,
hometown almost, huh?
And I'm a permanent resident of Macau. So, you know, they all call me Black Chinaman since I've been there so long. I'm actually in movies in China. I'm on TV programs in China. I'm the only, you know, really Black person over there that's doing that type of stuff. So they, you know, they started calling me the Black Chinaman. You know, even they call me that, and even you know, my own people here call me that. You know, when I come home.
It's almost a term of endearment.
Right. And you know what? Acceptance too.
Yeah.
You know, acceptance.
I like that. So what's the most challenging part about your role today?
Wow, that's a good question. You know, trying to please everyone. You know, a lot of people I deal with, as you can see on my Instagram, I deal with a lot of celebrities, a lot of socialites, a lot of politicians, a lot of high just maintenance people. Yeah. You understand? And a lot of people just not used to being told no. and you the first person that's telling them, no, that's not gonna happen.
Right.
You know, yeah, no, so, I cannot do that. No, you cannot do that. And then a lot of them respect you for that because they just never been told no, because a lot of them are surrounded by yes people. So that's the difficult part. That is the most difficult part, is working and dealing with people that's surrounded by yes people. And they being sent to you, and you are their first person telling them no.
Right.
That's traumatizing.
That could be a challenge at times.
Yeah. And was it always easy for you to do that? Like, what are some things that kind of taught you how to be a little bit more gentle with it and get that self-discipline? Because personally, I have been trying to do that, and it's very hard. I'm a yes to everything type of person, and I just recently started to like say no to people when it's appropriate. So was that transition hard for you, or is it something you're still working at every single day?
Oh, great point. That's a work in progress, because I do hate saying no.
Yeah.
You know, depending on the person's attitude. Now, if somebody's attitude, you know, coming a little funny, you know, they be reminded real quick, I am from East Chicago too. I have a no tolerance policy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So don't get it twisted. My favorite rapper is Tupac. He said, I'm not a killer, but don't push me.
Let them know.
You know, so you know, yeah, it's a work in progress.
Yeah. Okay.
And just even being on your journey as far as you adapting to tell people no, how did you overcome the first time you told somebody no? Because I know for me, it's hard to tell people no, and you feel guilty about saying no.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? It's how you say no. You know, a lot of times I will come back with something else. No, they can't happen, but I can do this.
So,
it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
It's how you say it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sir.
oh, I can't do that, but I got this. Now, if they don't want to, if they don't like that, at least they can see you tried to help the situation.
The compromise. You tried to find a compromise.
So, you know, like, oh, I can't do that, but I.
Up.
Screenshot time.
Y'all posing? We just waiting. I be hating Zoom. We be doing that stuff. Why y'all got to do us like that?
Give you a few moments, Mr. Reggie, to unfreeze.
I wish it was kind of like Instagram where you can exit somebody out and then have them join back in.
Yeah.
Day coming in with the quotes.
Right, the strong quote.
Quotes. We got a saying for everything.
I'm like, okay, teach me.
So I guess he's just exited out. He's going to enter back in.
That means he's just going to close up then.
Yeah.
All right, so moving back over some of the things that we were just talking about. Kayla, what is your opinion on just some of the things we've heard so far?
It's very inspiring just to know that he figured everything out, especially being in a corporate setting, because I recently just left a corporate setting at my job, and it was very difficult learning people's personalities and trying to keep my personality in check, even though it made me feel some type of way. So I love that piece of advice that I was given. And Mr. Reggie has joined us.
Welcome back.
To everybody that's listening, that's not the team's problem that just happened. That was my phone said it was too hot, so it just shut down.
Oh, okay.
So I'm trying
no
to
worries.
the air on it. Listen.
So Aaron.
Hey, you got to learn how to coordinate. You got to coordinate.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Like you said, gotta be quick on our feet. We're learning.
So,
Yeah,
Mr.
quick
Reggie,
on
I
our
have a
feet.
question.
Come on with it.
So, what are some of the books that you read to keep you inspired throughout your career and throughout your journey?
You know what? I like the book Good to Great. You know, so I normally read that, and I just read the Bible. I'm not a book person. I'm a magazine person, and I like YouTube. I like to listen to people talk to me on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Such as podcast or?
Yeah, you know what? I like listening to. I'm more like Bishop Noel Jones. So I need some inspiration. So I put inspiration talk from Bishop Noel Jones or Joyce Myers. Some of the people that I enjoy listening to, they inspire me. So no, that's mainly what I do.
Okay.
And speaking of inspiration, you are definitely an inspiration to a lot of people in the Black community. So how does it feel being a public figure?
You know what? It's a blessing, especially here at home and back in Macau and all the youngsters I come across. Hey, it keeps you in line. You know, sometimes I'm human. You know, sometimes your mind want to go somewhere else, and you got to understand. You know, you got a family name you got to keep up with, and you got to, and you know, you don't want to let the people down that's dependent on you.
Okay.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. So you just always have to remember your why, like why you started to get, why you started your journey to get you to where you are now, basically. So
you got to remember. You got to remember that.
Yeah.
I got you gonna laugh, and I don't mean to sound bougie, but I normally don't drive a car, right? I have a driver when I'm trying to figure out how to turn this air on, and I turned the heat on.
Oh no.
So I'm sitting here trying to how do I turn this air on?
That's understandable though, because these cars nowadays are very high tech, and you have to find some things. You got to read the manual. You can't just look at a car and guess what it is.
That's me. I'm pushing. But I'm trying to keep the phone from going off again. I'm like, what's going on?
Try pressing a snowflake if there's a snowflake.
Yeah, that's what I've been pushing too. I've been pushing that snowflake, but it seemed like there's a lot of hell coming up. But but come on with it. What was the question?
All right. So if today was your last day on Earth, what would you want your legacy to be?
You know what? I think about that often. I think if right now you want to leave. First of all, I always told my friends and all that if I left today, I don't want too many people crying. I need y'all to say that man really lived his life to the fullest.
Right.
You know, that man really lived his life to the fullest. And I'm very big on how people would talk about me. I'm very big on that. Because what if it's something, it is reincarnation and you come back as a spirit. You don't want to come back as a spirit and you hear everybody saying, I'm glad that dude gone. He wasn't out nothing anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to leave a legacy behind, right?
I want to leave a legacy. I want to be tapping in on y'all. Say, man, he was a good dude. You know, you want to be up there smiling, not like, oh man, they dogging me out now.
Man, I think that's a legacy anybody can ask for. You want people to have fond memories of you, good things to say, memorable moments with you.
That's why when people want to take photos, I'm quick to take photos because you never know, whether it's that person's time coming up or your time coming up. At least they have a special moment you have with some, that they have with each other or what you have with that person.
Right. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us today, Mr. Reggie. We really enjoyed this interview and all the little amazing nuggets you have placed in our minds and in our hearts.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. So that's all we have today. Thank you all for tuning in to the Teen Talk podcast. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Teen Talk Vegas 881 and also check us out at teentalkvegas.com.
Thank you all for tuning into our YouTube channel. Be sure to check us out on Instagram and Facebook at Teen Talk Vegas 881. Stay tuned for more Teen Talk after this.